to the Once Blind podcast. Your host, Carlos.
Hey guys, welcome to Once Blind. This is Carlos. I have the last of the Puerto Ricans and my daughter Lily with me. What I wanted to do is actually have each one of them ask questions. Obviously, some cannot, but I at least want to be able to have memories down and certain things where later on these kids can look back onto and not only say, oh, I remember when, but actually have the evidence to say, I remember when. So we figured out a cool way to introduce the family since we talk about homeschooling. We talk about all the things that we do as a family. We wanted you to meet the family in, I guess, a certain way. I had to mute his mic because he's just super excited to be here. So let's get it started. Hello, Giddy. Gideon, what is your favorite song?
Baby Shark.
Baby Shark? Can you sing Baby Shark?
Baby Shark, Baby Shark.
Which one's your favorite shark? You don't have a favorite shark? It's Papi Shark. Papi Shark is your favorite. How about, are you a boss baby?
Mm-hmm.
What is mm-hmm? You guys say yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay. What's your favorite movie? No answer?
Hmm?
Do you have a favorite movie?
Mm-hmm.
What is it?
Baby Shark.
That's not a movie. That's a show.
What movie that you like watching, buddy? Like Boss Baby or something. What do you like watching?
Baby Shark.
Okay, we'll stick with Baby Shark. I guess that's basically it. Gideon,
Mm-hmm.
who's your favorite?
Buzz Baby.
No, not Buzz Baby.
Mine.
Mommy? How dare you? That's okay. I'm only a little heartbroken here. All right, so you guys have met the last of the Puerto Ricans, number 8, the Giddy Monster. Say bye-bye, Giddy.
Hi.
And guys, you can tell now I have number 6, Mr. Number 6. What's your name, number 6?
Maya.
Maya. All right, do you know your middle name? No? What's your middle name? You got a middle name. So how do you say your whole name?
Maya.
Okay, that's how you pronounce it. Just in case you didn't get it. So, did you have any questions?
My first question is, if someone said they belong to Satan, do they belong to Satan?
If they say they belong to Satan, then they are declaring, okay, that they do belong to Satan. Okay? It's like if you say you are my child, right? Are you my child?
Yeah. See.
See, okay. All right, so in you declaring that, right, it's a factual statement in the sense of, because I am your father, there's no denying that, right? But now when you're talking about the spiritual world, you will become what you declare. So for those that are declaring to believe in Jesus Christ, belong to
Jesus Christ.
Amen. But if you say you belong to something else, then you will belong to that. Understood?
Understood.
You're the smartest kid I know. Even more than the other ones. Shh, but don't tell them. Okay. So, can I ask you a question?
Yeah. See.
See, okay. Where are you from?
From off.
From Earth, okay. All right, so what is your favorite thing to do?
Watching video games and watching TV.
Watching video games and TV. What video games do you watch?
So some people say yes, me can watching video games, and some people say no, me can't.
Oh, okay, so you can watch certain people play now. All right, what is the game that they play? The Adventure Academy. You like Adventure Academy?
Yeah, but then fought one and go check and do some jobs.
Okay, cool. Sounds like an interesting video game. Who plays the coolest video games?
Nini. And
Really?
Papi, and
Oh, and Papi.
Mommy. And
Mommy doesn't play video games. Are
On
you
her
telling
tablet.
stories? You play games on your tablet? Oh, wow. We're finding things out on this Once Blind, where you find out people's video game habits. No. Okay. So what's your favorite movie?
Rondos.
Rondos?
Windows.
Adventures. Oh, okay. I didn't get that. I needed to look at the translator on the other side of the room. So how old are you?
5.
You're 5 years old. How old is Gideon?
3.
Gideon is 3? But I thought Gideon was older.
5 older than 3.
5 years older than 3. Good job, buddy. All right, say bye.
Bye.
All right, so this is number 5 of the Poe Weekends. Hello, Miss Vida.
Hello, Bobby.
How are you doing?
Good.
Yeah, you look very happy today. Are you a happy girl today?
Yes.
Awesome. What'd you eat for breakfast?
I don't remember what it's called.
You don't remember what it's called. It was yummy, delicious.
Food.
Well, yes, food, but sausage. And what are the things that Mom made from scratch? They were round, and you put the sausage gooiness all over the top. You don't know what that's called either? A biscuit.
A biscuit.
A biscuit. It's yummy. Yes. Okay, so, Ms. Vida, what questions do you have?
My first question is, who teach you the Bible?
Who taught me the Bible?
Yes.
Oof. All right, so I would have to say God, Holy Spirit, right? And in a way that you can understand, me. I did go to Bible class, like not Bible class, but I went to like a church, but they were teaching certain things. They didn't teach the whole picture. So it was because I wanted to know the whole picture, right? It's kind of like when you're drawing something, you always want to see, or you're watching someone draw something, you want to see the end to see what it is. That's what happened with me. I wanted to see the end, and I couldn't wait for a church to take 10 years to show me the whole Bible. So I decided to study it on my own.
Oh.
All right. What else do you have for me, young lady?
Tell me about the second one.
You want me to do the Jeopardy theme song in the background? So
What's
that while you
that?
think, do, do, dee, do, 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 dee, do. Do you remember the third one?
Yes.
All right. What's the third one?
Who was your friend when you were a Christian at the time?
Who was a friend of mine
Yes.
as a Christian?
Yes.
Shoot. Meaning that they stuck around this whole time, or just at any point in life?
Any points?
Any point at life. I'm going to go with maybe my first friend and one of the only friends that I still talk to today. And that's Mr. Ray Dash Sr. You know, the old guy? The really, really old guy. Real tall. Okay. And now, do you remember your second question?
No, I don't.
Okay. What is your middle name?
Ale?
No. Vida Lael.
Vida Ale.
Close enough. Don't worry. We don't speak Hebrew either. So, and now, how old are you, young lady?
I'm 7.
You're 7? Man, you people are getting old. You got a job yet?
No.
No? No job? What am I going to do with you?
We don't know.
We
yet.
don't know yet? Oh, you're so pretty. I love you so much. All right. Say goodbye to the people.
Bye-bye, puppy.
So in a time of production, I was just notified that I might have messed up the numbers. So we have Gideon is our 8th. Nehemiah is our 7th. And Vida is our 6th. Skip one, we go to our 4th. Miss Luna Bellin. Hello, Miss Luna. Whoever thought that my child would be a nervous giggling? You need a minute? We're going to give her a minute. So here is my 4th, Miss Luna Bellin. Not belly. Bellin. You have a lot of laughter in you today.
Always having lots of laughter.
Yeah? Why? Is the world funny?
No, it's mostly her.
Oh, it's mostly her. And just for the record, she pointed to the mother, not to the father. I'm not the funny one.
No, you are.
No,
She
don't take
laughs
it.
too much.
Don't take it back.
She laughs too much.
She laughs too much?
Yes. It's hilarious because then everyone starts laughing.
So she has a contagious laugh. Look at
Yes,
that.
definitely. Sometimes I laugh so hard my bladder hurts.
All right, Miss Luna, what do you have for me?
I don't know.
You don't know. What are your questions?
I forget.
Well, how could you forget?
I forget everything.
No, you don't.
Mostly everything, not everything.
Oh, my goodness. I can't believe you forgot your questions.
Yes.
All right, so I guess I'll ask you questions then.
Yes.
What is your favorite book?
It's gotta be. Well, I don't have a book, but it's more like a series.
Okay.
Little House on the Prairie series.
You really like Little House on the Prairie?
Yes.
Can I tell you that when I was a kid and I had to watch the show, it wasn't good.
Most
So I'm imagining that it must be a good book.
it is.
Who's your favorite character in the book?
It's gotta be Almanza, the farmer boy.
Yeah? Why?
His life is funny, I'll tell you that. Well, he isn't. You can't expect everything that's gonna happen to him.
Okay. Oh, okay. I don't know how I feel about your favorite character being a boy. I'm going to have to talk to your mother about that. But, so, what would be your favorite movie?
My favorite movie would have to be The Grinch,
The Grinch.
the new one.
The new one? Which one? With,
It's with the actor for Doctor Strange.
the Cumberbatch one.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Interesting. I don't remember that movie. It's a cartoon,
Yes.
but it's still a movie.
You didn't watch it with us. We watched it without you.
Oh, that's probably why I don't know anything
You
about
fell
it.
asleep at night, and we were all watching it.
I did not fall asleep.
Fell asleep
I
in
was
your
resting my eyes. I was watching TV through my eyelids. All right, so we got your favorite movie. We got your favorite book. What is your favorite activity?
My favorite activity. It's gotta be. I like crafts.
You like crafts? Okay, what's your favorite craft?
It's gotta be crocheting.
Crocheting?
Yes.
Have you crocheted me anything?
I'm working on it.
All right. Oh, and for you people to know, give me 1 second. I was made this by Luna.
No, it wasn't me.
Yes, it was.
It was Lily.
What? Where's the one you made me? Where is it?
She
Oh
has it.
man, Mom stole it.
Yes, she did.
Oh, I thought you made this one though.
No, it was Lily. I can't do a flower yet.
No, this is a flower.
Yes.
Oh my goodness! Don't tell Lily I didn't know it was a flower.
She's over there.
She doesn't know. All right, so Miss Luna, how old are you?
10.
You're 10.
Yes.
When did you turn 10?
3 or 2 days ago.
3 or 2 days ago. It must have been a great party. You don't know exactly when it was. I love you so much. All right, Miss Luna, my middle daughter. Say bye to the people.
Goodbye, child.
Mr. Number 3, Mr. Joaquin Jose. Where's your middle name from?
My tata.
Your tata. Very good. All right. And how old are you?
I am 11, going to turn 12 in April.
April. Oh, very, very precise. This is when it is. Don't give people your social.
Got it.
Okay, good. So, what do you have for me? Oh, you wrote it down in your dinosaur book. You know when people write things down, it's going to be kind of serious. Go ahead. Okay.
Yes.
Starting to make me nervous when you're breathing and getting all like intense over here. Yeah.
Okay, my first question is, well, when you were younger, and why did you want to be a boxer? Like, what was the main purpose of you wanting to be a boxer?
Honestly, I could punch people in the face and not go to jail.
Me too.
It's just, I mean, there was no passion to the sport. I liked fighting, period. But the problem with fighting is that people press charges, especially nowadays, and you get in trouble. So the only way to be able to express that art that I like so much of punching people in the face is through boxing, because MMA wasn't a thing when I was a kid. It was really just boxing. So I would go to a gym and I would pay them to let me punch people in the face. Not the answer you thought, huh? No. But I want this to be honest. So ask away, my child.
Ask away. Why is Lauren Taylor your favorite football player?
Because he's an animal. He is legitimately the greatest football player to ever step foot. He was one of the fastest people off the line. He was one of the hardest hitters. He would chase running backs around the backfield, still catch them upfield because they would purposely run the ball away from him. They didn't want anything to do with him. Because of him, the left tackle is one of the highest paid positions in football, next to like the quarterback.
Because he injured a quarterback.
Very good. You watched.
Blindside.
Yes, very good. There is so many things that the rules have changed because of the player he was. But not only alone, in that case, was he the greatest player ever, but he was also handicapping himself by the drugs that he took. And in doing that, he was still the greatest player. I could only imagine, okay, he would have been a superhero in the sense without taking the drugs.
Wow.
So I see the player that he was. I know that I understand the era of when he played and it was all popular and stuff. But again, him handicapping himself and being one of the greatest defensive players to ever step foot, you'd have to sit down with me one day and just watch highlight after highlight. There's like days of highlights of his, and you would recognize the talent. But then, like I said, as you would get older and be able to comprehend what it is for someone to handicap themselves. Well, football is a sport of high energy, and he was zapping his energy with what he was taking. He was zapping his energy because the nights before football games, he was out partying and drinking and this and that, which meant that the next day he didn't have enough sleep, that there wasn't enough rest, and he was probably recuperating from what is called the hangover, right? So he handicapped himself. He purposely ruined the potential that he can put out. And being that he did that, he was still the greatest player ever. Imagine. He already has a legacy for the greatest defender. Imagine the potency of his legacy if he didn't handicap himself. And that's why he's the greatest football player ever and my favorite.
Okay, and my final question is, like today, are you glad that when you were so young, your dad taught you how to fix cars? Because I bet when you were younger, you were like, can I wait until I'm like 20 to learn this?
Okay, that's a great question. Yes. And like any normal human being or child, as a child and having to do mechanics or chores or anything like that, we frown upon it and we tend to think that, you know, our parent is mean or our parent is whatever, and because we don't realize the lesson in it. And at the time, as a child, I hated it because rather than playing sports or out there, you know, doing whatever, getting in trouble, I had to have a tool in my hand and learn the craft of mechanics. And I thought it was because, you know, he's stuck doing it, so I got to be stuck doing it. It's not fair. As a teenager, I did learn that this is how he fed the family, so I was helping feed the family, but still wasn't happy about it because my mindset was that's his job, not mine. As an adult today, one of the things you guys don't realize is that there have been plenty of times that I've been out of work. So being that I'm out of work, there is no money. So I had to figure out a way to make money. And I did that by fixing cars, okay, that friends or associates or whoever would have They'd bring me their car, I would fix it, and it's all stuff that I learned as an 8-year-old kid, as a 9-year-old, and so on and so forth. I mean, one thing you guys don't know is I supported myself from the age of 14 to 18 through mechanics. And even then, I was like, I hate mechanics. But today, I look back at that, and I'm like, wow, God, what a blessing. It's like you knew that we were going to have a rough time, because you guys don't experience that. We don't allow you guys to see the ugliness of what happens in our adult world. So there have been times where I had to rely on my mechanics to feed this family. And if it wasn't that he had taught it to me, there was no way I'd be able to walk into a garage and make a certain amount of money, because I would have been treated like a rookie. And it's like, no, we pay you guys minimal. Also, when there is no work and pandemic and blah and blah and all this crap that happens in the world, I have something to fall back on. But it's not only mechanics. See, my dad taught me how to be a handyman, how to fix washing machines, laundry, how to put up fences, how to do concrete, how to do pavement. What else did that man do? You name it, I did it. And, I thank God that because of all that I hated then, you guys will never go hungry. Don't just stare at me. Conversate. Come back and forth.
Yes. I thank you for that.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you for thanking me and thanking someone. All right. So at this point now, what is your favorite book?
That is tricky. I read a lot of good books, but I think my favorite I can read constantly and never get bored of is Where Do Presidents Come From? It is a hysterical graphic novel. A man named Michael Townsend made it.
Okay.
And it's just hysterical. The art is hysterical.
Mm-hmm.
The characters are hysterical. And it really, in certain chapters, it really makes you feel like you were there. The drawing, the play set, like when he mentioned George Washington's or the French and Indian War.
Mm-hmm.
During that, you saw all of them moving through, and a lot of them were getting shot, but all of them like, ugh, like groaning and saying oof, and no fair, they aren't in lines.
Mm-hmm.
You see all the Frenchmen and all the Native Americans all shooting at them behind bushes.
Who won?
Yeah, I wish they did too.
They did win.
Not that war.
No?
George
All right.
Washington lost a lot of wars.
Did he? All right. Now I'm interested. Now we're talking here. All right. So he lost that war?
Yes. But he wasn't even a general at that time yet.
Who was he then?
He was a messenger, I think, at that time. He was, although he has been around Native Americans, the man he was working with, he was like, no, my men are prophets, British, English, whatever you want to call them. We will fight in straight lines, but when they were going to the battlefield, well, like George said, we should have gone in bushes. Nope, they were shot to death, including him.
That is amazing. See, this is why I like you, kid. You have very good knowledge. And here's the thing, right? It's something interesting for you to know and for them to know. If we would have actually put you in public school, you would have been in special ed. They would have put you in a class and classified you as unable to learn. And it's because your hyperactivity, you guys can't see, but his legs haven't stopped moving. The funny part is that the apple didn't fall far from the tree because I keep shaking my legs as well. So that's the interesting part. I mean, how old are you again?
11.
You're 11 years old. And let me tell you something. You know, everyone portrays George Washington as being the most strategic and like best general ever.
George has traveled around. His first job was actually making maps.
Okay, so what was George Washington's first job?
Making maps. And he met a lot of Native Americans doing that. He found out how they fight, how they ate, how they plowed, all of that.
So he's actually a smart man?
Yes.
How smart could he have been?
What?
I'm asking a question. How smart could he have been?
Pretty smart.
Why?
In other wars he has had great ideas.
Okay.
But also, in a lot of other wars, Britain has had Germany's help with more weapons, and they had stuff they didn't have, like missiles, weapons. Same thing with World War II. Germans had missiles, weapons, tanks, and then this time jets and stuff.
And George Washington was around for World War II?
Oh,
Yeah, I know that, but I'm wondering why you went there.
because I'm saying Germany had great weapons like they did back then.
Oh, so they've always been advanced in weaponry and armory. Huh. Very interesting.
That's why there's a lot of German knights,
Okay.
and they had a great armor, great swords, probably the greatest armor and weapons in knight history.
Wow. That's pretty amazing. Wait till you start learning about World War II. And you'll be like, oh, shoot. No, that's actually very interesting. Huh. And what would be your favorite movie?
I like a lot, but
I didn't ask you about a lot. I said your favorites.
there's a lot of good ones.
Okay.
But I think one of the best movies I have watched is probably The Age of Ultron. I love the effects for Ultron.
Okay. And that is a...
He was very Avengers movie. He was very humorous. He was a lot. I really think Ultron was one of their best villains.
Huh. Very interesting. You got your favorite book, your favorite movie. Let's see. What could we ask Joaquin Jose? What does your name mean in English?
Jackson.
Like Michael?
I hope not.
I love this kid. That was an awesome answer, kid. Woo. Okay. No, what else to ask? Let's see, Mr. Joaquin. What is your favorite sport, Mr. Sir?
Wow. It's a toss-up between football, baseball, and MMA.
All right, so on another wave, how do you feel being number 3 of what people consider to be a huge family or huge family?
I just really feel great feeling. Just even if I was the 7th or the 3rd or what I am, or the 1st or the 5th, I would just love being in this family.
But what is the feeling of where this culture today says that big families are, climate change, footprints, and blah, blah, blah. Everyone talks down about big families. They actually teach two. That's it. That's way too much. How do you feel about being in a big family? What are the benefits that you feel about a big family?
The benefits of being a big family is that you're never alone.
Oh, okay.
If you feel down and your older brother is doing dishes, your younger brother will come and say, Joaquin, let's play Star Wars. Joaquin, let's play cards. Joaquin, what do you want to do?
Okay.
Or mostly all the time, Luna comes up to me and says, Joaquin, want to do art with me? Joaquin, you want to play with me? Joaquin, can I tell you my ideas for my stories?
Okay.
And I got the 2 greatest parents in the world.
Does she always approach you with, we'll get back to that other one, but does she always approach you by your name?
No.
Okay, well, all right. So, yes, I do agree. You do have the greatest parents in the world. But, again, the benefits of being in a big family. Now, you said that you're never alone. Wouldn't some people say that sometimes it's good to be alone?
It is good to be alone. Like when you're in the bathroom, they give you privacy.
Oh, okay, good. So they do that at least?
Bathroom.
I don't know, because your mom hasn't been able to have privacy in the bathroom for years.
So for kids, it's great in the bathroom.
Okay. All right. So what would be the best part that you would think in the future having so many siblings?
So many siblings, so many nephews, so many nieces, eventually so much people to hang around.
Okay, cool. And I think that if life gets hard, you have more people to count on?
Way more.
Way more. Okay, cool. We just got to find some people that are entrepreneurs and start our own little chain of, I don't know. What would we call our chain? Po-Ricans. We are the Po-Ricans.
What's blinds?
The ones blinders? I don't know. I like formerly blind bastards better. Which, by the way, that's Hebrews looked that up. So, in all of that, if you had one thing to say to the audience of Once Blind, what would it be?
would say to them that through hard times and through easy times, that God's there.
Amen. Amen. All right, my son, say bye to the people.
Au revoir.
All right, so we got number two. Number two, you got to throw up gang signs when you say two. No. So I have Miss number 2, Miss Lily, who is identical to her mother. For those of you that don't know, check out that movie. No, don't. I did not tell you to look at that movie. So, Miss Lily Anna. I'm trying to remember the middle name. She is loose. Yes, I remembered. See, that's what happens when you call a child just Lily her whole life. You forget her whole name.
I tell everyone to call me Lily, and they all believe my first name is Lily.
Lily. Huh?
Like, guys, it's Liliana. I'm like,
Do you get
that's
the
a funny
Y
joke.
or the I? Is there a Y at the end of that?
No, they're always like, that's a joke. I'm like, no. Even my friends, like, we've been friends for a long time. They're like, wait, what? I'm like, no.
You have a different name, you liar? All right, Miss Lily. How old are you?
14.
Wow, she's a teenager. All right, Miss 14-year-old teenager. Let's see, what else can I begin? You're number 2. We've established that. Just got to make sure, because I already made a mistake in the beginning with the other
Yeah.
ones.
I'm like, wait a minute.
Sometimes I feel like she's the number 1. She wrecks house up in here. Not always in a good way, but you know, she is a teenager. She's definitely mom's favorite, just letting you know. So, Miss Lily, what do you have for your faja?
Oh. I knew I was going to do that.
Everyone's going to do it.
All right, so first, what's your favorite book in the Bible?
Whew. All right, so my favorite book in the Bible is Numbers. Yes, I know.
Why?
So, Numbers. Yes, you thought I was going to say John, right? No. So, John is one of my favorites. It'd definitely be the second book that I go to. It is the first book that I tell everyone to read. But when I came to Christianity, it wasn't through some preacher or some whatever. I was reading the book of John, and I got to 3:14, and Jesus makes the statement of how, like Moses lifting up the bronze serpent, so shall the Son of Man be lifted up. And I didn't know what the hell he was talking about. I was just like, what? But thank goodness for footnotes. And that footnote took me to Numbers 21:5, and it tells the story of Moses and the bronze serpent. It's because of that. So it's not even the entire book, but I give credit to the whole book. Okay, it's like a Cheese Whiz sandwich. It's a whole sandwich, right? But it's really just a Cheese Whiz. So Matthew's 21:5 talks about Moses and the bronze serpent. When I read that, I completely, and I think definitely through the just who the Holy Spirit is, right? That he just brings things to light. I understood the whole Bible from number 21:5. Because the idea of I don't know if you remember it, but they were complaining again, like the Jewish do, about God feeding them from heaven, meats coming from heaven, like everything. They were wearing the same clothes for 40 years. Never once in the Bible does it mention that they needed new clothing. Okay, nothing. Every single need. They saw water come out of a rock to quench their thirst. Like, what? They saw seas part, and these human beings were still complaining about, we have to eat the same heavenly bread. Like, really?
Heavenly.
Okay. It falls from the sky. Every morning I would wake up and be like, this is crazy. But they would complain. So God, getting aggravated with them again, said, oh, here's some snakes for you, poisonous snakes. And they were getting bitten, right? And some were dying, some were sick and then dying. And like the Jewish always did, okay, they would mess up. And I mean, we do too. We mess up and then we go, God, please forgive us. Oh my God, Moses, go talk to God, tell him to forgive us. So Moses, being the mediator that he is, he's like, look, I get it, stiff-necked people. But they're asking me to ask you to maybe heal them. And Moses being that faithful guy, asked, and Jesus gave him a task that made no sense. Jesus said to him, put a snake on a post, lift it up. Anyone who looks at it, they will have their salvation in a sense, right? They will be healed. So he did it, and those that looked at it were healed. Now, the part that got me is because I'm one of those people where I have to think every angle. So I wanted to think as of, okay, some guy put a bronze serpent on a stick. I have to look at this stick, right? And now this is a picture of Jesus Christ on the cross. Okay. So, I'm looking at a snake on a stick, and that is saving me. I don't know. If I was in my tent dying, and I'm dying, right? And let's say you came to me and you said, Dad, go outside, look at the snake on a stick, and you're going to live. And I'm going to say, get away from me, you idiot. Okay, can I die in peace? Like, I'm dying. You see that, right? I got bit 3 times by the same snake. The bastard wasn't freaking full. I don't want to be bothered about a stupid snake on a stupid stick. Let me die in peace. But if I actually believed that that would save me, then that would be enough to get me out of my bed or out of my dying place, right? To actually crawl or whatever the deal may be, to go look. Because I knew that if I could just muster up enough energy to go look at something that may sound the most ridiculous thing ever, I could live. So now, if Jesus Christ is that serpent on a stake, then all I have to do is leave my life that is leading to death. Stop following death and go look at life. Since then, you were way too young to remember, but it was actually your illness when you were born that helped this family really cling on to who God is. And at that point, in God's timing, because everything was like a domino effect. So it was you being sick, us not really being, well, for me, not really being a believer, but I knew I couldn't do anything for you. So I had to rely on something outside of me. And I had to put faith in something that I had no faith in. To then read this story and then take me to this one. To realize, and remember, I was only reading John to disprove the Bible, find the contradiction, so that I can tell her, your mother, that I want my Sundays back so I can watch football, okay? And there, God's timing from one place to another. It was like, wow, okay. And then ever since then, this family's been completely turned around. And luckily for you, you weren't around for the bad times. Well, some bad times, but not those. All right, young lady.
Terrible at shape. All right. Did you want to be a mechanic at first? Well, I heard you say to Georgia, but if not, what did you want to be?
What did I want to be as a kid?
Yeah.
Accepted. No, you laugh. Accepted. You gotta understand, I'm an immigrant, right? I hardly spoke English. So when I was in Columbus school, some people accepted me. Some people thought I was different because I didn't speak English. And this was a predominantly minority school. Then I got moved to Lincoln School and no one accepted me. In fact, I attribute the crap that I was throughout my teenage years and even into my adulthood to second grade. And just the fact that people picked on me and all the crap that I went through, the hierarchy of who's popular, who's not, which is kind of why you people are homeschooled. They really shaped me to be the aggressive human species that I was, okay? Because I was an animal. I just wanted to be accepted. So as a mechanic, no, I didn't want. And if you're going to talk about a job, I wanted a job that would make people not necessarily hold me up to a higher standard, but something where people would say, oh, he's actually normal, okay? I didn't have pride in like, oh, I want to be the boxing champ of the world. No, because boxing, I just wanted to punch people in the face. And again, that's attributed to the fact that everyone in second grade made me want to punch them in the face. So, accepted. If I'm going to be honest with you, I wanted a career in something where people would say, oh, he's not weird, or he's not this, all the things that I felt as a kid. But, oh, he's one of us. He's normal. Not the answer you wanted?
No, I was like, oh, okay. And then you said the job thing, and I was like, okay, that was what I was trying to ask.
Yeah, I know. But
like,
see, the thing is that people think that we're supposed to, every answer has a specific thing, and it doesn't. Like, if people are honest with themselves, the reality is what do people want to be in the future, right? They think financial, right? They think, oh, I want to be president because this is what they want you to say, because I'm going to change the world. Yeah, well, listen, go look at the last 44, actually, let's say 40 presidents, and they didn't really change much, okay? And plus, they're puppets on a string. Either way, they'll say doctor, but in reality, you're just a drug pusher for some pharma company. Right? They'll say, no, I want to heal people. No, you want to be a drug pusher. What do you want to be when you grow up?
So one thing that I can definitely, like I can say, I'm always off and on about jobs, is a mom. That's a definite.
You want to be a mom? Huh. I don't think I like that idea. You're supposed to live with me forever. No, okay. But that's the thing, though. Like, it is a job, though. I mean, you think your mom doesn't work? Are you saying mom is lazy?
No.
Where's mom at? Mom!
She's right there.
I know.
I know you know, but I'm just like...
Anyways.
It's my blondness.
It is your blondness. What is your third question?
All right. Who is your biggest earthly, and I'll explain that in a second, hero or role model? And I mean by earthly as in, like, a person, like, not, like... If you told me what was my biggest role model, I would say Jesus, because I was supposed to act like him.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, like, a person, like an earthly person, somebody who can mess up, somebody who has failed before, but always, like, rose to the occasion in the end.
A hero?
Or a role model.
And someone that I look up to almost like a role model. Oh, there's so little to pick from. Is it a person that I know?
It could be anybody.
Can be anybody. And I can't do a cop-out and say Jesus. All right.
Because I figured you would do that.
Well, it's an easy answer. I mean, you can never go wrong with Jesus. So, I'll give you two answers to that question. If I had to pick a person that I did not know, and a person who to me would be like, wow, I'd like to mentor under that person, it would have to be Paul, right? And the reason I go to Paul and not people's normal whatever is because Paul was a Christian killer. Paul was knocked off his horse, literally, and he spent time with God, and then he started his ministry. And if the idea of what I believe is to be more like Jesus, right? I could pick Peter, I could pick all these people who were with Jesus, and there's probably a closer connection. But see, the thing with Paul is that Paul thinks like I do. And in the sense of, I am the worst of these, yet I press on and do work. I am the chief of all sinners, and yet he pressed on and did work. He had a thorn, right, in his side, and I have bad knees, bad legs from a motorcycle accident. So he had infirmities that kind of held him back, but didn't hold him back. You know, everyone that knows me, I'm always in pain, but doesn't stop me. And I just love the character. Like, people think that you become a Christian and all of a sudden you become a floor mat. And Paul, a floor mat? I dare you. Okay. And I read his stories and how he went at people. He went at his brethren, right, the church, because when they were trying to put laws on the Christians that they themselves were free from. And it's like, wow, this dude is legit. He's a gangster. Like, I like this guy. And then he went after the Gentiles when the Gentiles try to shape, right, the culture like today, trying to shape what Christianity looked like. Paul was like, hell no. This stops here. Like, this is what it is. This is how it is. If you don't like it, deuce, like bounce, okay? Today, a pastor say that to his congregation, that's unheard of. There's like not even a handful of pastors who have the goal to tell them, no, this is what the Bible says. Now they're like, Jesus loves you. Yes, you sinner. Oh, he loves you. He wants to hug you. And I've never read that in the Bible, but whatever, okay? Paul, man, a man's man. But he also was humble because he knew his upbringing. And I admire that. Now, a person today that I know, and not like that I don't know, it's kind of weird, but your mom is an inspiration to me. Your mom is another person who, like me, deals with pain daily. I get up and I go to work and I deal with strangers. It's kind of easy to deal with strangers because it's like, all right, whatever. You don't mean nothing. I leave at 4:00 and I don't have to think about you for the rest of the day. Your mom has to deal with you guys all day. And then there's so much love that's wrapped in it, so you can't really punch you in the face, right? If I'm at work and I punch someone in the face, I might get fired, I might get in trouble, right? But I didn't punch or hurt someone I love. She has to hold back the rage that you guys bring out in her. That's hard, okay? She has to educate you. And sometimes you guys don't want to learn or don't want to pay attention. Or maybe, you know what, you're having an off day too. But she's trying to teach you. You're on an off day. As a parent, that's frustrating as hell to talk to an empty space. And then the cooking while not feeling good. It's just like people look and you guys will see, and mom will definitely always talk about how dad gets up and goes to work regardless that he's in pain. But you guys have to realize your mom suffers from 24-hour-a-day migraines. And she's in the kitchen and she's cooking here and there. And then the best part is that she raised such a great daughter that even when she herself cannot be there, you see the effects, right? The afterglow of your mother's work, because then you step in, Luna steps in, and you guys are helping her cook and helping her take care of the kids, and you do it cheerfully and without things. So here's a woman who created a legacy in pain, in anguish, okay? She spent her whole life being ignored for all these pains and all these things, and it didn't make her bitter to the point where she becomes one of these narcissistic women, because I can't call them mothers, okay, who will not do anything for their children and blame it on her pain and almost create a dependency on the children. And I see this so much where the kids are like, yeah, my mom is worthless because she's in pain. It's like, no, your mom's worthless because she doesn't care about you. She takes care of herself. And every single day I see your mom either struggle with hip pains or, thanks to Joaquin, backbone issues and all these like crazy illnesses that she goes through, but she presses on. And she doesn't understand it, but it's what gives me the desire to also press on. So those would be my two heroes. And it's sad because I'd really like to pick someone outside of this home and not give that lady credit. Why would I give that lady credit? Like, come on. I'm married to the lady. Like, I don't need that in my home.
You had a good choice.
No, I didn't pick her. She picked me. I can't even take credit for that. I can't even take credit for that. Like, she's the one that picked me. She can make all the faces she wants. I wasn't looking. She came into my life. I was sitting down in a chair, drinking my coffee peacefully.
That's not true.
I was.
When I offered her coffee.
I did not. All right, so let's get this straight, because I don't know what the hell's going on here, right?
She said you offered her coffee.
No.
She said no.
No, here you go. This is what happened, and she knows this. So I was sitting at Dunkin' Donuts with a group of gentlemen.
I don't know.
No, they were thugs, but either way. So I was sitting in Dunkin' Donuts where we normally went to hang out before we went to go hang out. And as we were sitting there, this woman, right, walks in. And the conversation there was that she came in, everyone was like, whoa, and I, whoa. And so I said to the guy that was there, because it was about talking or whatever, I was like, yeah, next thing that walks in, I'm probably going to wind up marrying. And here comes this creature, all right, from a heavenly realm in a Pentecostal skirt. You'll get that later. And as she walks in, it's like everyone's like, checking it out, blah, blah. And I was like, all right, I'll talk to her. All right. And I sit down. No. You said I offered to buy her coffee. So all I said to the guy on the counter, right, was, man, I really want to talk to that girl. So, you know what? Let's take a shot in the dark. Yo, let her know that I'm sitting over there and I'd like to have a talk. Because I didn't have any money, right, to buy coffee. So I can't offer. So this is how you know that she added this part. But what happened is that human being behind the counter said, hey, he thinks you're the most prettiest thing in the world, okay? And he'd love to buy you coffee. Which she didn't realize because her back was staring, and we've had this conversation before, but her back was to me because she was at the counter. I was sitting behind. I'm looking at the guy like, I don't have any money. What do you mean I'm going to buy her coffee? Right. And here's the part where I knew this was for me, right? Because she turns around with her little amber attitude. I could buy my own coffee. I was like, not a freeloader. Holy crap. I like this woman. Okay. So now I did not offer to buy her coffee. And mind you, you can ask her, who invited who first on a date or on time to get to know each other? Do we all want to look at her at the same time and be like, So, like I said, I can't even take credit for picking her because she picked me. And I mean, it was the best decision of her life. Like, I can't pick that.
I think she's debating about it in her head.
There's a possibility she's debating it now. I mean, there are 8 of you.
No, that makes her happy. Wait a minute.
I love you so much. All right, so Miss Lily, what is your favorite movie? And no, I did not say TV show.
I know.
Movie.
There's a lot of good ones. Like, if JoJo asked me, I'd make it less for him. I'm like, here.
Take that.
Yeah, take that. There's a lot of good ones. Right, I know my favorite Christian movie
Okay.
is Facing the Giants.
Okay. Is it the New York Giants?
No.
Okay,
I don't
good.
think they were.
No, they weren't.
No. I'm not a very good watcher. Like, I have to watch a movie more than once to understand the main characters' names.
I don't even know.
Like, I
The
had to
main
watch
character.
a whole season of my favorite show, and then only then did I learn the 2 main characters' names. No one else's.
Is it Mr. Pineapple, your favorite TV show? Is it the pineapple and the orange or the...
He's a cupcake.
Oh, he's a cupcake. Is he a chocolate cupcake?
Of course he is.
Okay. All right. So, and what show is that?
Oh, psych.
Very good, very good. So what's the name of the main character?
Sean.
Sean. Not Spencer?
It's Sean Spencer, but they give you the first name.
I didn't know that.
Speaking of that, because I forgot, you said there was a show you wanted me to see. Well,
Wait, why are you bringing that up now?
because my brain, I won't remember it afterwards.
So write it down.
Right? I'm going to forget to look in the book. I'm going to become one of those old people who, like, tag things and stick it somewhere. Like,
Okay.
and walk into the room. I'm like, oh, yeah, I forgot to do that. The picture.
What's the picture?
You.
Oh, snap. You guys can see it, but that is one good looking guy. Man, I'd definitely marry that guy. Look at this screen.
Everyone who comes over sees that picture of you instead of that. I don't know if it's an apartment or a house. I don't know, but you have like the cigar in your hand, and they're always like, he looks like a movie star.
Yeah. Yes, he does. Now, so
I think you look better with the beard.
yeah, so does your mom say that? Did she pay you to say that?
Yes.
Okay. Because I
To
don't
think about it.
this thing here is not my first choice.
I know.
This is one of those moments where it's like, you want her to like you, so
Yep.
you look the part.
You look at the part.
Let's see. So we got your favorite Christian movie. We got your favorite TV show. What is your favorite book?
Wonder by R.J. Pilkio.
Wonder. Is that the one with the kid who wears the helmet?
Yeah.
Okay. Really?
Yes. That book was freaking awesome.
Okay.
I read Little Woman, Huckleberry Finn. Little Woman was good, but not as
Was
good as
she
Wonder.
little?
There's a TV show, and they say the Little Woman is about little ninjas. They fight zombie cats. It was zombie cats. It was Electric Company. The bad guy said that.
Wait, what?
It's confusing.
Yeah, and the confusing. See, this is why you guys don't really spend time with PBS. Because they're weird.
Weird.
All right, so let's see. We got your favorite book, which is Wonder. Boy. There's a movie called Wonder.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was.
Actually, that's the closest movie I've ever seen to a book. And it's got some parts of it's not very close. It's the closest I've ever seen.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
Maybe Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, because that was pretty close too. The second one, the newer one.
I don't know. The movie was more about drugs than it was about chocolate. You read that book? What are you letting these kids read?
Yeah.
Did they? Oh, man.
I
They're
didn't
not
finish
reading
that one.
like
I finished
World War
Matilda.
II books, are they? Yeah. They are?
We picked those.
You picked those.
Well, Jojo mostly.
Okay. Favorite activity?
I like anything I can do with my hands.
Okay.
I think that's the ADD part of me.
You can. So, yelling at people is your
It is.
favorite activity? I'm going to hit you. They're fine.
She's like, I know.
All right. So, what's your favorite activity to do with your hands?
Not that hard. Mom told me I think she's saying bacon. I do love bacon, yeah.
So, wait. Is there a hand behind you? Your mom's a ventriloquist all of a
She's
sudden?
like,
Yeah.
I was like, I
Say
can't-
bacon.
Yes.
And you're like, bacon?
Like, I don't know here.
I like bacon strips.
I know that I love riding Winter.
You liked riding Winter? Okay. And Winter is?
Our horse.
Oh, okay.
I know, I'm going to explain these things.
You have to, because they're like, wait, how is she riding Winter? Are they giving her drugs? Like, is she like out there
Poem.
sitting in the snow talking about saying, woo, Winter?
Actually, they made themselves the snow horses to ride on when it snowed. And they're like, we were riding on horses, Nehemiah. And I was like, what? And they're like, we meet horses. I was like, oh. Wait, how did it even stay?
Riding Winter, horse, Winter the horse, Winter the horse. What is your take on being the second child of a big family? And now here, I'm going to gear your question a little bit more. So every person outside of this house wants to say, poor Lily, she has to help her family because they're so big. How do you feel when you hear people say that?
I'm like, what are you talking about? Also, there's a woman with 60 kids out there. So I do not have a big family, to be fair.
There's a woman with 60 kids out there?
I read it in like one of those, did you know books.
60 kids?
I was like, how is that even possible?
I don't even think
She
that's
had like
possible.
6 tablets twice?
No, she must have had freaking...
I was thinking, was she taking those like fertility pills? Like, what
Yeah,
the-
no, she must have had like, I don't know, what, 6 babies at a time? Like, how do you get that high? That's 10 pregnancies with 6 kids at a time. Like, is she a cow?
I don't know. No.
No, she would have to be, right? Cows have more than one at a time? No,
No.
cows have one at a time. I'm sorry, cows. I mean, lady. No. Let's see.
Like, to be fair, I do not have the biggest family out there.
Okay. You don't have the biggest family, but again, so what is your take on the fact that everyone will see how much you do for this family, right? And all of a sudden it's like, oh, poor child, she does too much. What is the idea? So when people look at the family and they see, this is a family with 7 because they don't know about the 8th, and they're like, oh, wow, she's holding the baby, or wow, she's doing this. Like, does she ever go and have fun? Everybody wants to act as if you're a bought child and not a born child. You know what that means?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Well, they usually never say anything to my face except for grandma. She's like, oh, I can't say it because she speaks Spanish.
Okay.
But like, she's like, oh, you poor thing. And I can't tell her, shut up.
Okay. You can tell her that. I give
I kind of
you
want to. I kind of want
blessing.
to. I'm like, first of all,
Okay.
you add stuff onto me.
Okay.
I have to take care of you.
Okay.
But also, you make up these things that I do extra.
Uh-huh.
So I'm not really doing much.
Okay.
It's more like I do this amount and you've gone that much.
Okay.
I'm like, whoa. I don't know if I could do that much. But,
High
they usually
expectations.
say, yeah.
Yeah, but your
Great
grandma does belong in a loony bin. Just saying.
Yeah. But usually, except for her, nobody else ever says anything to me.
Okay.
So I'm usually told what people say.
So
I'm like, why would they say that?
yeah.
Like, what makes them think that?
So being in a big family, being that you're one of the older ones, you probably can say, I think we can say that you have more responsibility towards your younger ones. But is it something that your mother forces upon you? And now's the time to say.
No.
Okay, good.
Because it's more like, since we're such a big family, people have the stereotype that we, we're the reason why the ocean is polluted and all of that stuff. But it's not the case. In fact, bigger families tend to, work farms, so they're the ones giving people food. They're the ones saving stuff, because sometimes big families have a harder time providing for themselves. So they reduce, reuse, and recycle. And so, but also the siblings learn stuff too.
Okay.
Like, I know dishes, Matt does dishes, so we take our turns. But we do the dishes. The younger ones can help sweep and clean the tables, which they do.
Mm-hmm.
So they see me being older, and they think I'm the one doing everything. But also, they do a lot of the work, including Luna.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's the hardest worker in this family, out of the kids, that is.
No, I think she works harder than me too. I'm just a secretary. I'm sorry. I'm store clerk. I'm a clerk.
Clerk.
You can't call me a secretary because I don't wear a skirt. All right. So, but I do agree. I think Luna, next to your mother, is probably the hardest worker that I know. Which is sad because I work with a bunch of grown men and she still works harder. Okay.
Luna thinks it's funny.
Of course. She's had the
I think
giggles
she's
this
a
whole time.
titterer.
Huh?
I think she's a titterer.
Titter? What the? I don't know. That sounds dirty.
Titter means to laugh nervously, so I think she laughs.
Oh. Being that you're a slave to a big family, right? As people would say. And you are the second oldest. Your mom's number one right-hand girl. We have gender appropriation here.
Of course.
So being that you are that, does it deter you or does it make you want a big family?
I think it makes me want a bigger family.
A bigger family?
Yeah.
So you can have more help?
No, it's just I love babies. So I want more of them.
No.
I know.
No.
I'm I'm thinking I want a big family.
Yes.
And I think of Joaquin's age. And I'm like, ugh, but I want lots of babies. Like, I love my 11-year-old, but I love the baby a little more.
Okay.
I'm like a little more.
That makes sense. Oh, man. I'm going to be a grandfather like 50. This is not cool. I'm going to be broke for Christmas. Like, you guys don't understand. I'm thinking future finances here. And it's like, I'm going to have to learn how to make wood stuff and wood toys. And
But I was excited.
I know.
Yes, let's
I got no choice. I got to become Santa Claus for real. Like, I got to make wooden toys and start handing them out.
Christmas with my kids.
No one wants Christmas. Well, no.
I'm not gonna do Christmas.
Okay, what are you going to do?
Nothing.
So I never have to buy them anything? Oh, have all the kids you want. What do I want? What do I care? I have
You
a
still gotta
million.
get them presents for their birthdays.
What? No, go full Jehovah Witness. No birthdays either. Like, nothing.
No, birthdays are important. Christmas is like the only thing I like about Christmas is presents and ham. I did that again.
Yes. All right. So you only like presents and ham. I kind of agree with that. I mean,
Mom, you have to make the ham this year. Well, last year, technically. She said, I'm going to make Grandpa's bringing turkey. It's like, what happened to the ham?
yeah.
And she's like, okay, I'll make the ham.
See, I like ham and pernil, turkey. But here, I will say this, and this goes a credit to why your mom is one of my favorite people and that I admire. She makes a turkey not taste like cardboard.
Because she made it she said she was making, no, actually she said at first she was making the turkey. And
Yes.
I went, no, I want ham. And then it went back to Thanksgiving. I was like, that was a pretty good turkey. Wait a second.
Can I have
Switch
both?
rules. Yeah, can I have both?
Is there a
She's like, we'll
B
do
and
both.
C in this? Can
She's
I
like,
have
we'll do
two?
both.
Yes. No, your mom will make pernil, turkey, and ham. Okay, and then get mad at us that we didn't get to eat all of it. Like, we're only a family of 9 people, right? Yeah. You made enough to feed a whole village. Like, the funny part, and it's the greatest thing for, at least for me, right, that I'll remember when I'm old and gray, or next year, that I ate, whether Thanksgiving, Christmas, or any other Saturday she considered to be a holiday, and for like the whole week. Like, and not even like we're stretching this out. No, like I got turkey, ham, and pernil coming out of every orifice of my body because there is no other place to stuff this food for weeks. It's like we can't even get rid of it to the point of like, there's 9 of us. No, we're having what they call them Cuban sandwiches, but it's just take yesterday's meal and put it in between 2 buns, right? For breakfast, for lunch, for dinner.
Maybe not breakfast.
She's literally taking the pernil, added eggs to it, okay, and then a little bit of garnish, and here's a new meal. Like, no, I know that pernil. I've seen that sucker before, okay? It's been 2 weeks. Like, why is that person still around? It is one of those things where it's like, wow, I just... But it's so good, though.
Yes. Like, I want to get mad at you, but I can't really.
No.
I don't want to eat the same thing, but this is amazing.
Really good. No, and then it's stuff that, like the sweet potatoes, that's with the whatever nuts on top. It's like,
I don't like
it's sweet
pecans,
potato.
or
How
she
can I
puts it
like
on there.
this?
Exactly. I'm like, like when I was like 6, she made the pecans separate, and then she put them on. I think she cooked them. I don't know how she did. But I just saw these pecans, and because I'm a naughty kid, I stole one off the pan. And I put it in my mouth. I'm like, oh my God, this is disgusting.
Yeah.
And then I'm eating it later. I'm like, I don't know why I like you so much.
You're like heaven, but in a hellish body. I don't like you. No. Here's one of the funniest things about, and this is for the purpose of you listening to it later and laughing, right? So one of the funniest things about your mom's cooking is that she will make a traditionally American dish, right? Let's go with the green casserole, right?
I love that.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing, though. You haven't had American green casserole yet, right? And your mom has done a disservice to every American in this country that makes green casserole. Because I never had green casserole before in my life because I looked at it and it was like, no.
No.
Okay. People would offer it. I'd be like, yep, I'll take the turkey and the bread. We're good, right? And then I'd still have to add salt to everything. But never, ever green bean casserole. Like, even looking at it was like, ugh. Like, it looked like prison food, which you don't know about it yet, but it's prison food. It's like, and that's it. Or school lunch. So she makes it, And, because I got to be a role model and I got to eat everything and so that you guys can eat everything. And I'm looking at it and I took a bite and it was delicious. And I was
How
like,
did you take something I hate and make it something?
no, but I didn't know about it. Right. It just looked like it was going to be disgusting. And then she made it and it still looked like it was going to be disgusting.
Green.
Okay. It's green with like white and some other colors in it. It looks like something rotted on the green bean and you're about to put that in your mouth, right? So here she goes and she makes it, right? And there's the green bean casserole, this, that, all this other mushy looking food. And it looks pretty on a plate, all the colors. It's Christmas. But you're looking at it and then you take a bite and it's like, whoa, this thing is actually really good, right? But here's the disservice. Then you go to American Family and they're like green bean casserole and you're like, yeah, let's do it. And then you take a bite and you're like, oh my God, how did they get cardboard in here? Like, oh my God, this is disgusting. Like, oh my God, it's in my mouth. Get it out. I've never, ever been so offended in my life. But she does this.
How could this go so wrong?
No, horribly. And here's the thing. This is a woman that I had to teach how to cook. Okay, she didn't know how to cook when we got married. You can ask her. You know this. Okay, I'm not making stuff up here. Okay, and now, okay, she's cooking these delicious things from scratch, from this, from that. And it's like, she's done such a disservice. I cannot eat at another American home. An Italian home, maybe, but another American home because meatloaf, okay? Meatloaf is a staple, okay? And let me tell you, if I wanted to eat rocks, I'd go to Frostwoods and eat rocks because it's hard, it's bland, it's disgusting. But your mom makes it in such a way that it's like, it's almost like she's in her own little world of cooking. People just suck. So the disservice that your mother has made to this world is that she's taking American horrible dishes and turned them into delicacies. And I think I only know one other person that can make a meatloaf that is very, very like, oh, this is phenomenal. Let's see, what other dish has she ruined for other people?
Macaroni. This is the.
What's your favorite? Okay, there you go. We'll go there. What's your favorite dish your mother makes?
I can't remember that somebody else made, and I was like, how could you ruin this? It's just macaroni. It was like the baked macaroni.
Oh, yes. And it was crispy macaroni.
Yeah.
It's almost like they forgot to cook it. I remember this dish.
Yeah.
I think they just opened the box, threw it in there, and said, with cheese, and hey, it's done. And it's like, no, you idiot. You're supposed to cook that thing.
I was eating it. I was like, this is horrible. I'm not going to say anything because they probably worked hard on it. And the little ones are like, I'm not eating this.
No, it was crunchy as hell. And I mean, it's macaroni. Like, listen, if you made it extra mushy, I get it. It's in the oven, blah, blah, blah. But when you're biting it and the thing's breaking your teeth instead, it's kind of horrible.
And they were like, it's so good.
That's my favorite. When you're at a party and you have someone else's like rice and beans or whatever, and it's like, the rice and beans is so good. And then you take a bite, it's like, oh, who the hell made this? A Chinese person? What is this? Pork fried rice? This ain't rice and beans.
I like it when we go places and mom makes food.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's, oh my God, it's so good. I was like, what are you eating? They're like, oh, it's pernil. I was like, my mom made that. I was like, what? Yeah, my mom made that.
How you like me now? My mama made that. No,
you
know what I like about like potlucks and places that we go, right, is that your mom will make a whole lot of food, but it's because she knows. She won't admit it, but she knows people can't cook. Okay. Especially at an American church. So she not only makes enough for people to eat, but she makes enough for us to eat. And I'll tell you now, here's a little secret, right? You can take this to the grave with you because it's not on air. But anyways, so here's one of the secrets. I have only eaten 10% of what I eat from other people, okay, anywhere I've gone. And it's not because, and I say 10% is because I'll at least try it. Mm. And again, I can count on my hands outside of this home of food that is actually decent. Like there's people, I'll put it to you like this. I don't like salad, and some woman made a pomegranate salad. That thing was delicious. A turkey meatloaf. Till this day, I like, yo, that turkey meatloaf. Okay, it was delicious. I want some more. Anyway, so I was thinking of the turkey. So I can't name anything else. We've eaten at a lot of potlucks. I can't think of anything else. And anything else that I would mention would be something that someone bought from like a bakery or something. But that's it. Yeah, that's it. I can't remember anything else. And you know what I don't like about going to potlucks is when people take that as an opportunity to like make a fancy meal, and then you'll see like a big ziti or something, that looks like it got work, right? That's great.
Yeah.
Then you go crack. I was like, wait, what's crunchy in McZiti? I thought it's pasta, sauce, and cheese. Like, is there like a secret surprise in there? Am I in prison? Am I gonna find like a knife or a shovel in there? Like, what the hell's going on?
Sounds like Fetcher for Fifth Men for a second.
Yeah, probably. No, I'm telling you, inside the cake, there's a nail file so you can get out of prison.
There's a key there.
It's been interesting how your mom can now produce some type of food, right? And it's a disservice to the world. I will never, ever be able to eat outside of this home and enjoy my food. Now, Mrs. Lily, say bye to the peoples.
Bye.
Well, in the last installation, we have El Numero Uno. For those of you that don't know, that's number 12. No. Number 1, the firstborn. The child. For those of you that have a big family, you know. Number 1 is the one you most screw up. Here's the evidence. Now, number 1, El Matias. Andres Perez. Mom thought you were going to be a soap opera person, and she gave you that like strong soap opera name so that when they say your name in the beginning of a soap opera, it's like Matias Andres Perez. You've never watched a soap opera, you don't understand. Wasted joke on your generation.
I think I can know what a soap opera is. Lily has watched one Psych episode, and I'm like, this is a soap opera?
But Psych is not a soap opera.
No, they
made fun of a soap opera. Yes, something like that. I don't watch Psych, so it's a wasted analogy on me. All right, so Mr. Firstborn, El Matias. Do you know where you got your name from?
I think Matthias. I don't know about Matthias. Andres, I think, was my mom's grandfather on
Yes.
her dad's side.
Yes. And because you were born, you had ears like an and that's why she thought that would be a perfect name for you.
No.
No,
That's her Dumbo.
no, it's just that's a jab at your great grandfather. No, you were a big kid when you were born, but your ears were proportioned. It was your feet that were like, what the hell are those things attached to his legs? Let's see, Mr. Matthias. Actually, your first name, Matthias, you were named after the chosen disciple
That replaced
or apostle that replaced Judas, picked by the apostles. And yes, that's where we got your name from, because naming you Carlos was just like, oh, why? Plus, like 18 million Carloses out in the world. You know, story for you is when I did my catechism, I must have got up like 20 times. Because every time they said Carlos, and then it would be like some name Perez, some name Sanchez, and some name. And by the time they got to me, I didn't even get up because I was like, there's way too many Carloses. Everyone in here is Carlos. Like, it was that bad. And then everyone yelled at me, like, get up. And I'm like, oh, crap. It's like, me? Are you sure it's me? There was even a Carlos Manuel Perez something else.
Oh my
And
goodness.
I was like, what the hell is going on here? I'm in the Twilight Zone. So, must have been like some movie or something where Carlos was the famous guy. Either way, so let's see. What do you have for me, child?
All right. My first question is, After mom just had me and she told you that she wanted more of us, what was your first reaction?
Why?
I just
No,
wanted.
no, not why. Why do you ask the question? It's why. Why does she want more? We got one. That's it. We're done. Perfect. Boom. All right. It's a boy. I don't need anything else. And then I was like, maybe a girl would be fine. But my first reaction was like, why? Why would you want more? Look at him. He's a monster. He's going to eat us out of a home. You're a big kid, bro. You had no clue. Like, you came out with a suitcase and a suit on, like big boss baby, but you were like super colossus boss baby.
Oh.
You were big, and not even chubby. I'm telling you, you're like a full grown man. This kid is big, grown. What the hell's he been hiding for 18 years? Yeah, no, I didn't have the desire at that point for a big family. I didn't have the desire to anything. It was just like you had come out, and what you don't understand about the firstborn is all our fears and all our anxieties and everything begin with you. In the sense of, holy crap, what are we doing with this thing? Like, what are we gonna do? Like, it's a person we're responsible for, and if we do this wrong, we're going to jail. Like this, it's considered murder. Like feeding you this, that, and everything about you was like scary enough. As a parent, any real parent would admit. You know, the joke is that as, you know, your second child, it's like whatever, you know. But it's a reality. That's why the joke is so funny. The first child, it's even for a man, it's like wow, I'm responsible for that. I don't want more responsibility. It's gonna be hard enough to do it with this guy. And
Show proof for that.
huh?
Yeah, proof for that.
Yeah, and then you have two, and then like with us, we have a big family. And the cool thing is that, and funny and kind of messed up for you, is that we make all our mistakes with you. So, and you turned out all right. So maybe the other ones aren't gonna be so bad. Like, I don't know. But yeah, no intention in like, oh look at he's so cute. Let's have more. It's like, oh, he is cute. Actually, no, that's a lie. You had a cone head. They put vitamin K in your eyes, so they were like big and black. Like, oh my God, it's an alien. But after that, and your shape went like back to where it goes. It was interesting to see you get to like 2 years old, and it's like, oh wow, we made it. We made it past the first year. He's still alive. Like it's breathing. It was funny because you didn't talk much, so your mom thought that you hated her or something because you just wouldn't talk to her. No, you just couldn't talk, bro. But it was interesting seeing your mother panic over every developmental stone, right? And then me trying to calm her down, but then seeing what she was seeing, like, oh crap, like maybe she's right. So all those fears and anxieties and everything that came into you being that guy, the first one, it just taught us to kind of relax. So when the other ones came along, and then each next one made it so much easier to the point where it's like, number 6, really, it's not that bad. You know, yeah, whatever. Number 7. After 7, I was like, all right, perfect number. We're done. And then 8. And then 8 came along, and it's like, all right, we got to do something here. You guys are multiplying. Anything else?
Second question was, with your reaction, what was it when mom said that she wanted to homeschool us instead of sending us to public school?
More nay than yay. It was definitely more nay because I am a product of public schooling. I've been indoctrinated by the government through public schooling, and you know they're Abba, they're Papa, and they have taught us and drilled in us that we should hand you guys over to them because they know best. And obviously that's not how I worded it because that wasn't the mindset. The mindset was that the government can't go wrong. So though I understood her explanations for homeschooling, though I understood her reasoning for it, it wasn't enough to kind of convince me to homeschool. But as I always kind of do with your mother, is that she'll come up with a great idea for the family, and I'll just defy her for the fun of it and be like, no. But I sit back and think, and I'm like, wow, you know what? She makes a good point. And then I thought about my second grade. I thought about how it was being new in a school since I kept getting transferred from school to school. I remember what it was being who I was in a new school. I remember the fact that they didn't want to teach me. They wanted to get rid of me and stick me in a corner somewhere because they couldn't deal with ADHD at the time because no one really understood it, but they didn't want to understand it because they made so much more money drugging me that they were like, you know what, let's stick him in this corner, let's fill him with pills, and bygones be bygones, who cares? Like, he'll just fall into the system and somewhere he'll go flip burgers. Now, knowing that people are making $18 an hour today flipping burgers, that might have not been a bad job. But in my time, they were only making minimum wage, which was like 5 something.
Yikes.
So when I sat back and thought about it, like, yeah, we'll be saving this kid from so much indoctrination, so much bullying, and not even bullying like in my time, because in my time, you punched a bully in the face, and then the next day you ate lunch together. Now they want to protect you from the bully by protecting the bully. And it's like, what? That makes no sense. So being that you were a big kid, and I knew how people like to make their names with the big kid. And, you know, that's one of the coolest things about you. When you were born and I saw this massive human being, I was like, wow, he's going to be a monster. Then you turned out to be the sweetest kid ever. And I was like, oh, crap. They're going to eat that kid alive. Like, they're gonna see him being so big and so kind, so genuine, so loving. And they're going to say, I can pick on that big kid, and that's going to make me feel big. And that's when I finally was like, nah, I'm not sending him to the wolves. I'm not going to throw him out there. No, we're going to raise him right. We're going to teach him right. We're going to make sure that he is ready for the world, and then let him go into the world so that he can fend for himself. You know, when you think of like older movies or history, period, because it's real, they would send their teenagers out to go hunting. And when they came back with their hunt, they were considered a man. This was 15, 16. The youngest was probably like 14. It wasn't 13 or anything, which meant that they were homeschooled up to that point in the things that mattered to them, hunting, fishing, all those things of how to feed yourself. And then from there, it was like what you would call the final test. Now go and do it by yourself. If you came back alive, we did good. Okay. If you didn't come back alive, it's like, let's have another one. Maybe we'll do better. But that's the idea with homeschooling for us, is that I want to make sure that before we send you out, that you're prepared. Well, how can you do that when you have an institution that is trying to make you dependent on them? And then I was like, you know what? I don't want him to be dependent on them. Look at what it's done to our culture in the hoods, okay? What it's done. People are content with being dependent on every dollar from the government, so they never claim to want anything. And even outside of the hood, look at what they've done to creativity. So as I sit back and think about this and how the government has truly ruined the next couple generations and social standards and all this, like, we're not evolving as people. We're devolving. I don't want that for you or the rest of your siblings. And it was like, all right, you know what? I see the point. You know, I said to your mother, I see your point. Let's do it. But like everything that I do, if we're going to do this, we're going to do it right. And at that point, it was the sense of, okay, anything you want, anything you need, let's get it, let's get it, let's get it. And even then, with you being the first one to be homeschooled, I was kind of being deterred because it's like, oh man, like I'm poor, like real poor. And this is getting expensive, but you know, it's worth it. And then what I didn't realize and what was discouraging me is that in our lack of how to do this, we made it so hard that when it came time for like Lily, it was like, I don't want to do it again. I just don't. And, but we learned more. And I think by the time Joaquin came around is when I was, all right, 100%, this is what we're doing. And now it wasn't just your mom's idea, but it was our family philosophy, okay? And it's the sense of, no, we're in charge of you guys. We are going to make ourselves fully responsible for who you're going to be. Because, see, from the door, I knew JoJo was going to be special. And special in the sense of intricate, okay? He was always a character. There was something about his demeanor as an infant, right? That it was like, no. And I thought of people like Picasso and all these guys that if they would have been born in today's day and age, right? Einstein and all these guys, they would have been classified as special needs. And your brother, as you know, is very hyperactive. But he is smart. And the only thing is that he learns differently. You learn differently. Lily learns differently. But something about Joaquin was like, this is really going to take some work. Because in reality, you and Lily are very simple in the sense of you pretty much teach yourselves and go to mom for help. With Joaquin, his attention span, okay, remember the cartoon Squirrel?
Yeah.
He's literally that, squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. And we knew that it wasn't that he was dumb. It wasn't that he was mentally disabled. It was that his handicap, in a sense, if you want to call it that, which I don't consider it a handicap, but his handicap, quotation marks for those that are listening, is that there's a different way to teach this child than the normal auditory or hands-on. We had to figure out how to get him to hyper-focus on what he was doing. And mom did a great job of studying and looking into things. And it was like, all right. But with Joaquin was like when it was like, no, I see me in that kid. And I mean, not in the sense of, he's going to have to deal with the human beings that I had to deal with in second grade and the racism and all this crap. But he was going to have to deal with, Carlos can't stay still. Carlos learns differently, right? And they were going to classify him, and they were going to put him in a special room, which is considered special ed, which is what they do is they stick these kids in a room, and they're 25 learning 2 + 2 is 4. Because even the teachers have mental illnesses in those classes. They're not smart people at all.
Wow.
Okay. And did I want that for Joaquin? No. So at that point is, if you want to know 100%, that's when I was 100% for homeschooling. But no, you got to understand a lot of these things that we're into today as a family weren't something that we were born with. It wasn't something that mom, was 5 years old and she was thinking, I can't wait to homeschool. It was something that as we grew up, living in today's day and age, and your day and age, because now you are almost 2 decades old, we just seen the change, right? It's almost like, how you look at the clouds and you can tell the seasons and so on and so forth. We just saw the seasons and the things that were coming, which turned out really cool because, right, now not everyone, but most people are forced to homeschool and they're flipping out. They're going crazy. We're like, homeschool. Okay, we've been doing that. Like, and it didn't change anything for us. Oh, people have to stay at home. Like, basically home all the time anyways. Like, what has changed? So in preparation, this is how you see God's hand in this. And this is how I want you to actually look at a lot of things in life. Of when you're in a place and you don't know why you're there, just know at some point you're going to be in a, quotation marks, pandemic, and the whole world's going to be falling apart, but you're going to be on that rock still, right? On Jesus Christ. You're going to be on that rock. Why? Because God has been preparing you for this before you even knew this was a thing. You're like in deep space.
No, I'm all here. I'm all listening.
Okay, go ahead.
It's just I'm just processing it all
All right.
through. What is an important characteristic that the Bible says that a Christian should have?
I think the one that we're missing today is integrity in word. And so many people are about saying the right thing, but they're not about living it out. And I think that's one of the biggest things that people will miss in Scripture. I'm a Christian. Okay, Jesus says, well, I don't, I'm not that Christian. I'm just a little, I believe in Jesus. I just don't believe anything about him. Like, what?
Oh, so they say by word, but they don't show by nature.
Well, yes, exactly that. They don't show it in character at all. They don't show it in their daily walks. They're very good at preaching and judging others, but they don't remove the plank that's in their own eye. There's culture today, if I had to tell you, very few people actually believe the Bible because of how they live out the Bible. Yeah. So, but again, if you're asking me characteristics in the Bible of what being a man or being a woman or anyone after God's own heart, being a family, like characteristic wise, we'd be here all day. And that's why I went with integrity of word. Like, you got to have integrity. And again, it's also not only biblically good for you for the body of Christ, the church, but it's also good for you in the world. If you're going to hold a standard and you're going to say, hey, I am a Christian, so I will not steal from this company. I will not, help you break the law here. Well, we're going to fire you. Well, then fire me. But I said, and I meant, this is what I am. And those are things that, up to now, you don't necessarily know those things. You've heard of them because I've dealt with stuff like that. But another reason why we want to homeschool you, because we want you to be that type of person, to not fear. Oh, well, you know what? You're going to get fired for being a Christian. You're going to get fired for wanting to homeschool. You're going to get fired for, not wanting to comply, especially in this time today, because this isn't going to be the last time we have to deal with something like this. Mm-hmm. So I'm actually so awesomely amazed and grateful for God for this time. Because, see, this is the times where you're going to see whether your parents are going to crumble and comply and become slaves and puppets to the tyranny that's going on today. And, with everything that we have to deal with through this time, are we going to crumble? So that when it's your turn to deal with something like this, because it's going to happen, now you can have not only the experience of going through, but you also have the example that was set forth by your parents. Okay, we will not comply. We will not crumble underneath. There is one thing to obey the authority sets above you, and there's another thing to obey tyranny and everyone going against the things of God. All right, so what is your favorite book?
The Giver by Lewis Lowry.
Okay, what's The Giver about?
The Giver is about an entire world, kind of like a state or a country, mm-hmm. where everybody thinks the same, everybody is basically the same, and they have these certain rituals, they have these certain things to do. And what happens is there's this one man called a receiver who's supposed to give these people information in case of any hard times. And what happens is there's a new receiver chosen, and that's why he becomes the Giver. So the Giver is teaching Jonas all this sorts of stuff because he, out of everybody there, is kind of special. So as he's teaching him this, he's opening his eyes to an entire world. And slowly enough, he stops taking the medication they give them, stops taking all this and that. And now he can actually see color. He actually wants to have free will choice. He actually understands the ideas of love and able to think what you want. And through all of this, as he and the Giver agrees that they're going to escape. Except the Giver has to stay in case of any chance Jonas dies, because the last receiver, which apparently was his daughter, which also have to explain in this, they don't conceive their own children there. They choose their spouses, and they have these birth mothers who are supposed to give birth to these children, and they give them off, but they have to be proportionate weight. If there's twins, whichever is the better one, they have to get rid of. And whoever wants to leave, they give them a leaving ceremony, which is basically they inject a shot and it kills you. So eventually, though,
this was called The Future of America? What was the name of this book again?
The Giver by Lewis Lowry.
Maybe it's a book you should sneak into your child's library. Anyway, so, wow, that's an interesting book. What's your favorite activity?
Drawing.
Drawing, okay. What are you into drawing?
Manga, sometimes just like random objects.
Manga?
Manga. It's a Japanese art style.
Oh, okay. I thought we were talking about the president for a second here.
I got that now. Took a while to process.
Okay. There are people who are audiences here have watched you play the piano. Where'd you learn to play the piano?
I am self-taught.
Self-taught. Look at that. Oh, that's right. You also play what other instruments?
Guitar.
Okay.
I'm working on the drums, but right now I have this thing called air drums.
Okay. What about that little pickety little
Kalimba.
Huh?
I'm working on that too. The kalimba.
The kalimba. Sounds like a dance.
Harmonica too.
Harmonica, okay. And now where did you pick up this instrument or whatever and say, okay, cool, I could do this? Or when did you notice that you can self-teach?
I didn't notice at first till like I actually started, because I just pressed a few keys and all of a sudden they actually sound like something.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, this sounds familiar. Then I'd ask all around either mom, you, or the siblings, other siblings. And they're like, yeah, that sounds like that song from wherever.
Mm-hmm.
I think the first song that I figured out maybe was I can't remember. The rough part in Beethoven's Fifth Symphony.
The rough part? Where
There's-
it's getting beat up?
No, but he had anger issues.
Oh, okay. Okay. And I remember that was on a plastic toy piano.
Yeah, there was only about 4 keys, so that's all I could have done.
I remember your mom calling me while I was at work. It was like, oh my God, I'm like, yeah, all right, lady, whatever. Like, here goes this woman telling me her 3-year-old's a genius. And yeah, then I came home and I saw it and I was like, crap, I got to apologize, damn it. Man, she was right. But yeah, it was pretty amazing because it was, and it's funny because I just saw you do it. I saw what you heard. And then I was like, yeah, whatever. I was like, oh, crap. I can't do it. How did I do it? So, yeah. But I've never been able to play an instrument. So you definitely didn't get that from me. You definitely didn't get that from your mother. But see, that's the thing, though. Your mom was okay at the guitar at some point, but then she never continued to practice. So maybe she has a dormant gene of music talent, but we don't know. And we'll never know. So it was actually pretty interesting to see how much you picked up music, especially on the guitar, because you would start making the noises on it, and then you would actually pick up and play. There's a lot. I mean, I know one of my pet peeves with you is like just learn to read notes. Like you're so phenomenal at the piano, phenomenal. Like you amaze me. We even send you for classes, and it was like the teacher couldn't teach you because you were so much more than what she thought. Like she was a basic teacher. You were past basics. The only problem is that you don't read notes. And I was like, man, if this kid can read notes, like he could have like a symphony or whatever. And it's like, but then I hear you playing. It's like, yeah, who cares? Like, look at that. That sounds amazing. And then you teach your siblings, which is cool because we don't have to pay an instructor for them.
Jojo teaches them too. He's actually really good at that, especially with them because he's not so quick to anger.
Do you have any interest in pursuing a career in music?
No, not really.
All right. What are things that you think of doing in the next 2 years? Because 2 years and you're an adult. If it's not music that you want to pursue, what is it that you would like to pursue?
I want to pursue in chiropractic.
Okay. Why?
I saw one of my teachers at a co-op, and he was helping out one of the students real quick, and I thought that was really cool.
Oh, sweet. So you want to be a chiropractor, not any other type of doctor. What's the difference between a chiropractor and every other doctor?
They don't have to deal with blood.
Oh, okay. So you have a thing with blood. Chiropractor, is that your main goal, or is that just a potential goal? Like how strong is your passionate for that field?
I say pretty big.
Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you for dropping by. Please remember to subscribe, to share, like, and to catch the next one.